All right, let's jump right in. Today we're embarking on a pretty sweeping journey. We're going to map out how a simple, everyday spark of human curiosity, something like looking up at the stars or just wondering how a campfire actually burns, somehow evolved into the massive organized pursuit of science we have today. It's really the story of an invisible engine, one that powers our past, dictates our present, and completely shapes our shared future. Think about this idea for a second. The journey of knowledge that transforms the world. Transform is absolutely the key word here. Science isn't just some static list of facts you memorize. It is a dynamic, awe-inspiring force that literally reshapes reality as we know it. Every major leap in our history, every single shift in how we live, breathe, and communicate, it all traces back to this one ongoing journey. It really is the ultimate story of us.
Part 1. The Dawn of Curiosity.
So, if we rewind way back to prehistory, science was basically just observation and survival, right? It was mastering fire or watching the seasons change to know when to hunt. Then, we step into antiquity, and things start getting organized. Ancient philosophers and mathematicians begin building the very first theoretical foundations. Moving forward into the Middle Ages, we hit a really crucial phase of preservation, because while the outside world was completely in flux, knowledge was being quietly kept alive and meticulously transcribed in monasteries. That preserved wisdom laid the necessary groundwork until we finally hit the Renaissance. And wow, this was a profound awakening of the human mind, boldly challenging the limits of everything that was known. Brick by brick, we built the foundation.
Part 2. The Engine of Acceleration.
This is where momentum really starts to compound. First, you have the scientific revolution, which locked in an actual method, observation, reason, and experimentation, to truly understand the universe. And that method directly triggered the Industrial Revolution. Suddenly, science transformed into massive physical machines that moved the economy and entirely reshaped society. From there, the monumental leaps of the 20th century in medicine and energy literally doubled our lifespans and shrank the globe, which catapulted us directly into the digital era. Boom! Information is instantaneous. The internet wires the entire human race together. It's crazy to think that in just a few centuries, we went from gazing through rudimentary wooden telescopes to carrying the sum total of human knowledge right in our pockets.
Just pause for a second and think about the contrast here. We're comparing the heavy, ironclad physical machines that drove the Industrial Revolution directly against the weightless, instantaneous information that powers our digital era today. We moved from an age where progress was defined by how much coal you could burn and how much steel you could forge, to an age where progress is defined by invisible data streams zipping around the globe at the speed of light. It's just a fascinating evolution, going from mastering the physical world to mastering the invisible informational world.
Part 3. Exploring Modern Frontiers.
You can think of every single scientific discovery as a building block. Each one snaps onto the one right before it to create this incredible, complete, cinematic universe of science. From early humans huddled around a fire in a cave, all the way to sprawling futuristic cities, it's one continuous, sweeping progression. It allows us to build increasingly complex and just wondrous realities out of really fundamental ideas. Right now, we're standing on 4 massive modern frontiers. First up, space exploration, where we are actively pushing our horizons beyond Earth and seeking answers out in the stars. Second is biotechnology. We are quite literally hacking the code of life to cure diseases that have plagued humanity for thousands of years. Third, artificial intelligence. We aren't just building machines that move anymore. We're building machines that learn, which is fundamentally shifting how every decision is made. And finally, sustainability. Because let's be real, all of this progress completely hinges on our ability to use science to actually care for the planet we call home. These 4 pillars are the absolute bleeding edge of our invisible engine.
Part 4. Building our shared future. Now, despite all our rockets and artificial intelligence, a really beautiful, simple truth remains at the heart of all this. Absolutely everything begins with a question, and everything changes with education. The next great scientific revolution isn't just going to magically appear out of thin air. It's going to start with a child's simple curiosity in a local library, or a student experimenting in a classroom. Education is the actual fuel that keeps this invisible engine running.
And honestly, we cannot do this alone. That old idea of the lone genius toiling away in a basement is pretty much over. Today's massive challenges, like curing complex diseases or securing sustainable energy for everyone, they require serious global collaboration. The future belongs to those who use knowledge not just with raw intelligence, but with shared wisdom and a unified purpose. We have to snap our ideas together, across borders and across cultures, to build a better future together.
So it brings us to a pretty important question. How will we use this power tomorrow?
because you aren't just a passive observer in this timeline. You are an active participant. The tools of science are more accessible today than at any point in human history. Whether you're learning a new skill, sharing information online, or literally just asking why, you are a part of this ongoing narrative.
I'll leave you with this thought. Science is the invisible engine of power, and the most transforming power is knowledge. As you look back at this incredible timeline we've covered, the real question isn't just what we've already discovered, but what will your curiosity transform next?